लाइव तो नहीं गई है ना अभी। Okay. Good evening, everyone. Good evening, soft tech developers. Hello, Geeta. Rishabh, good evening. Good evening, everyone. So I welcome you all to the day 6 of the Data Science Essential Program. This is our last day of the session. I hope you all are doing well and have upgrade your skills in this 7 days. Are you all guys with me? Hello, good evening. Good evening, Rishabh Jain. Good evening. Okay. So are you all with me or not? Just reply me fast in the comment section. Yes, yes. And where are rest of yes. Only two are there? Okay, thank you, Divyantu. Thank you. Okay, fine. So let's move ahead. Before just mark your attendance. The link is in the chat section as well as in the description. And if you have any doubts till now, you can join our community group and solve your doubts from there. And yesterday we had an assignment. You can check it out at the community group where the summary is available, overview. And in the detail section, the more when you click on the more, you will get the assignment, and from there you can download the assignment. And one more thing, assignment is not mandatory for the exam. If you want to practice just upgrading your skills, you can try it out the questions. There are total 14 questions in the assignment. Just go and check in our community group. Okay. So before moving ahead, let's have a quick review what we talked about yesterday. We talk of the matplotlib series, matplotlib functions, subplotting, pandas series, and the pandas data frames, and indexes in the pandas with the iloc and functions. It's not mandatory. Systemato assignment is not mandatory. You have it's just for your practice. Okay. Fine, sir. Shall we move
Okay.
ahead, sir? Okay.
Yes, definitely.
Yes.
Okay. So very good evening to all of you. Please give me a confirmation. I'm audible to all of you. Am I correct? With a small hi in the chat section, please give me a confirmation that yes, I am very well correctly audible to all of you. Yes. Yes. Very good. Okay, so we have around 40-50 learners right now. Okay, good. So let's get started. So what am I going to start with today is, well, the main agenda for today, we are going to have pandas, whatever is left of that part to be discussed, followed by seabot. Okay, these are the two things that we are going to start off with today. So very first thing that we are going to start off is creating a CSV file. Okay, I have a very simple CSV file. As you can see over here, the first column is the name of the student. The second column is the overall grade of the student, A, B, C, E, B, C, E, F. The third, whether the student is obedient or not. Fourth, what is the research score out of 100 a student has scored. Then E is the project score out of 100, whatever the student has scored. And then finally, recommend or not. So these are the 5 columns. Okay. Now we don't care a lot of this. What my aim is to read the data from this particular CSV file. Now the question is how to read it. Well, Python Panda says I have a function for reading it. So how? So first and foremost thing, always ensure that wherever your Jupyter notebook is open. Right now my Jupyter notebook is open at this particular path. It is always preferable to work in a workspace where everything is there at the same place, and that's exactly what I'm telling you over here. Right now we are working on this particular notebook, LU Data Science Batch 2, Pandas and Seaborn, and my students record.csv file is exactly over here. If I want to read this file, and if it is there in the same path, which I would always suggest you to have it, then in that case we say over here how to read that file. First of all, you need to import pandas as usual, and then let's say I say df is equal to pd dot. Now you see there are so many types of files that we can read. Most popularly, 90% of the time we require to read it using CSV file only. However, you can read from clipboard, CSV, Excel, Feather, FWF, GPQ. You can do research on all those things. What are this? This is Hadoop file system. This is HTML. This is JSON. This is Oracle file system. Parquet, Pickle. Pickle is a machine learning file. SAS is another software. SPSS is another software. You can read using SQL, SQL query, SQL table, read data, read tables. So many types are there. But right now, we want read CSV. Since that is stored in the same path, just write it like this. And now, when I say df, well, what will happen is the moment you say df, the entire thing would be printed. You know what is the type of this? The type of df is nothing but a pandas data frame. So obviously, if the type is pandas data frame, the shape has to be 2D. Yes, you see over here, it is 2D. It has 8 rows and 6 columns. Let us confirm, are all the 8 rows and 6 columns shown? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 6 columns, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Cool. So all 8 and 6 columns are shown. But let's try to understand a very practical scenario. What if my CSV file consists of total of 8,000 rows and 25 columns? If this is how the scene is. Now, obviously, you cannot display such a thing over here. And don't expect a scroll bar is going to come over here all of a sudden, which is going to help you. No, our Jupyter notebook is not a tool for viewing the data. No, if you really want to view it, please go back and open the CSV file. If you want to process the data, then come to Jupyter. Okay, then come to the IDE. So over here, what is going to happen if the number of the records are too high? It will be displaying the first 5 records, then it will be having dot 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 and the last 5 records. That's how it's always displayed. First 5 followed by last 5. Okay. So now, usually you don't print it by saying df. Okay, you will never print it by printing df over here. So what do you do? Well, it is preferable to say df dot head. What is df dot head going to do? Well, it is going to print the top 5 records, or rather than saying top 5, I should say first 5 records of the data frame. We can see over here what are the first 5 records starting from Henry going up to Marvin 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. That's exactly what you get. Similarly, if you say df dot tail, that is going to give you the last 5 records. You see, starting from index location 3, going up to index location 7. Now, you can also say it like this: df dot head of 2. It is going to show you only top 2 records. So the top 5 are Henry, John, David, Holmes, Marvin, and now it is only Henry and John. So that's practically very much possible over here. Okay. Now, after this, similarly, you can do it with tail as well. In fact, there is also a function which is called as df.sample. And if I say df.sample, it will be randomly picking up any one record and showing it to us. So it homes. If I execute it once again, print once again Henry, once again John. So it's a sample. And I can also write over here df.sample of 3. So it's going to randomly pick up sample of 3 people. 3 rows, some other 3 rows, some other 3 rows, some other 3 rows, all randomly. Okay, so that's my sample function, to be very honest. Now, always students ask me, sir, what if this particular thing is not in the same path? First and foremost thing is ensure they are in the same path. In case they are not, that's not a good practice to do. But let's say now that I'm going to put this and put it inside this folder. Okay, let's say this is where my student record.csv is. There is my Jupyter notebook open over here, right? So now if I go back and I try to read it, let's say executing this, there's an error, file not found. And obviously the file is not there, right? Is the student record.csv there in this folder? No, it is there in a folder called as assignment inside this folder, somewhere over here, right? I need to go into assignments folder. How do I do it? Well, now I need to write over here assignments slash students record.csv. And now when you do it, you get the file. But as I told you, right, it's not a good habit, but this is how you do it. Now, then the next question is, sir, what if it is in altogether different path only? For example, we are currently in E drive. What if my file is in F drive or D drive, something like that? Then at that time, you need to paste this entire path. You need to paste this entire path. So let's say, I'll just, for your sake, you are going to paste this entire path, and everywhere you have backslash, make sure you are converting that to a forward slash. So that's the simple hack behind it. There are multiple ways to do it. This is just one of the way which I prefer to follow. And now if you do it, it will be fine. So whatever is the path, make sure you convert it to this and read the file. However, I would not advise you to do all those, things which are not advisable. Preferably they should be in the same path. Okay, so let me do what I mean. So I'm going to cut this once again and put it back over here. And now dealing with this, perfect, red, type, shape, head, tail, head of 2, and sample of 3. Okay, so all of this is fine. We got a good idea of it. Now, as I told you, right, if I want to know all the columns of the data frame, we just simply need to write df.columns and I get all the column names. Similarly, if I say df.index, I get to see over here indexes. So indexes start from 0 and stop at 8. What I mean by that is, if you observe over here in the data frame, they say it start at 0 and end at 8. So why is it 7? End index -1, right? 8 -1. 0 to 8 -1, that is 7. So that is the reason it starts with 0 and ends at 7. Okay. Now, after understanding this, the next thing is, let's say this is my data frame. If I want to access one of the column of this, let's say project scope. So I need to say over here df of project scope. When I execute this, I see I can access one of the column. Okay. I have to check the type of that. What is the type of this entire cell? It's a series. Okay. So do you understand a very important conclusion? If I say that this entire thing right from here to here is a data frame, I say that this particular part is a series This particular part is also a series. This is series. This, this. So can I say that data frame is nothing but a collection of series where each of the series can be of different columns? Yes. So data frame is a collection of different series. So that we get it. So if I want to access the project score column, I understand that I need to write df dot project score. This is what I get as information from this. Now, the next thing that I say over here is if I want to access project score, I got to know, right, how to get it. In the same way, if I want to access the same thing, I can also say df dot project score. This is another way of doing it. Okay, we can either write df square bracket project score or df of project score. Another way. Okay, once again, my head, and let's say if I want multiple columns, I want name and project score, then I need to say df. And if I say the first column is name and the second column is project score. Now observe over here what happens. It doesn't give it because there is nothing called as name comma project. So you know what is it doing? It is actually searching. It is actually searching for something which is looking like this. There is nothing like that. So if you really want to access that, then please understand you need to pass it as a list of list, and now it will never give an issue. So I see over here that these two columns are being segregated out. So you know that's how the things happen over here. Okay, you get it, right? So if you want to select multiple columns, that's how it is. I can also do something like this. Hey, I want to select multiple columns, but I only want to see the head of it. You can do it. I mean, you can say I'm writing the same thing dot head. So it will print only the top 5 records. It never takes so much time, but anyway, sometime it happens. Hmm. Yes. So as you can see, it is doing the things over here. Now, once again, if I go to df dot head. Okay, so I have my data frame over here. Now the question is, if I have a data frame, something like this, okay, let me print the entire data frame only. This is my entire data frame. Luckily, it can be displayed over here. Now, what if I say, no, I want to use, yesterday we studied lock versus ilock indexers. I want to use the indexers. Let us say what is going to happen if I say that I want to access everything from, let's say, Henry, that is record number 0, right up to Marvin, record number 4, right from here to here, everything. If you want to access over here, then this is going to be df. Now how to write? Well, you need to specify the rows and columns. So I say, hey, I want it in the form of rows and columns, but yesterday only I told you, right, you need to be very specific. So I say over here that what are these indexes? These are implicit or index 6. Is it implicit or explicit? Let me know in the chat section. What are the indexes? 0 1 2 3 4, implicit or explicit? Is that a syntax? Yes, that is a syntax, Kashyap. Why are there two square brackets in df in print? Because you want to select that particular column specifically from the entire data frame. So in the data frame, select these all columns. Okay, so when you say in the data frame, that itself is one column, and in that select these two columns. For single, it's not required, but for selecting multiple columns, that's the syntax to get it. Okay, so 0 1 2 3 is implicit or explicit? So I see there's a confusion over here. I really don't understand why. Friends, what is implicit indexing and what is explicit indexing? If you go to the CSV file, and if I, what is wrong? Here, Let it open. If you go to this particular file, do you see any column 0, 1, 2, 3? The first column is name, right? So have we assigned any indexes? The first column is name. And if I take you to the data frame, do you see the first column anything other than name? No. That clearly means that these 0, 1, 2, 3 are the values which are not assigned by us. No, they are assigned by Python only. So they are implicit indexes. Implicit, not explicit. So in this case, I will like to say df.iloc. Okay. So I say over here, what if I say, hey, df.iloc, I say I want to access, let's say, row number 1, and I don't specify the columns itself. Let us see what do we get. So I say df.iloc row number 1, and I don't want to specify the column. As you can see over here, for John, entire thing is being fetched out, right? You see over here, entire record of John has been fetched out. Okay, let's say now you want to fetch out only the research score for John. So that is which column? I see over here that is my this is my column 0, this is my column 1, this is my column 2, this is my column 3. Column 3. Okay, so I say listed, and I say column 3. If I is 85 the score of John? Yes, 85 is the score of John. Perfect. Now over here you can see after this iloc refers to implicit. Who is Mr. Ola? Okay, cool. Now let's leave that. Then I say let me print this. Okay. Now let's say if I want to access row number 0 right up to David, and let's say the columns of my interest are only these two. If I want to access all of this, what am I going to do? So I say I want row number 0, 1 and 2 and columns as 0th and first column. So I say over here df.log which all rows I want, right from 0 till 3, that is going to be from 0 to 3 minus 1, and my columns are going to be right from 0 till 2, that is from 0 to 2 minus 1. And when I execute that, I see that I'm getting a part of it. Okay, so that's the way I can extract it using lock and iloc as well. Point number 1. Okay, makes sense. So now you understand what is the idea behind lock and iloc. And let's say if these indexes are set by you, then also you can access it using lock. But usually we prefer using iloc only. Now, this is my data frame. Okay, we know the type of this is data frame. If I say df dot values, please observe what happens. The moment I say df dot values, what do you see? You see over here that it is the same data frame which is actually being converted into something like this, whose data type seems to be very much similar to a NumPy array. NumPy array. Well, let us confirm that. Control A, Control C, and I say type of this, and yes, it's a NumPy array. So what will I do is, let me store this NumPy array, let's say, into some variable called as SS. Okay, and then I'm going to create a new data frame. So I say, first of all, let me show you SS. It's the same thing. Now if I want to create a data frame, I can say over here dd.data frame. What am I showing you is how to convert a NumPy array to a data frame. So I say ss is equal to pd dot data frame of ss. So store it back in ss only. Now you see it's actually converted into a data frame, but the column names we have lost it. And obviously, come on, we lost the column names over here only. The moment you say df dot values, you have lost the column names over here only, so they are gone. If you want, you can assign the column name. So let's say I copy this, and so before doing this only, I say columns equal to in square bracket, I'm going to assign this. So this is my name, comma, overall grade, comma, obedient, comma, research score, comma, project score, comma, I think recommend column. Now when I execute this, well, you get back the original data frame. So you understand that a data frame can be converted to a numpy array, and a numpy array can be converted back to a data frame. Okay, very important things that we learned over here. Okay, now next, I'll still stick to my data frame df only. Okay, that's my original data frame, which is called as df. Now if you want to see the summary of all the columns, then you need to write df dot describe include equal to, what is that going to give you? It is going to give you the summary of all the columns. So you see, we get the summary of the columns. Now the thing is, it's a bit confusing, right? So I will specifically, I say, hey, let me see the summary of not all the columns. Let me initially look at the summary of only numerical columns. I just top of this and I execute this. So if you don't write include equal to all, what you see is summary of only numerical columns. Okay, and what do you understand? Well, it says that in the research score column, there are total 8 records. In the project score column also, there are only 8 records. Then the mean of the research score column that you had, this was the research score column, the mean is 63.37, and the project score is 53.125 as the mean. Standard deviation is what is the spread about the mean. Okay, standard deviation is how much far from the mean are the values being scattered. Now I will not talk of standard deviation in a lot more detail. It is anyways covered in the mathematics section, not right now. Right now let's understand that, hey, this is what is called as the standard deviation. That clearly means that the data is more or less scattered 63.37 plus or minus 31.64 from 63.37. That is, if this is the mean, the data is 34 units over here and 34 units over here. This is what we understand overall. Okay, then the minimum value of the research score column is 10 and the maximum value is 92. Similarly, the minimum value of project score column is 17 and the maximum is 85. The This is the 25th percentile, this is the median, which is my 50th percentile, and this is the 75th percentile. Okay, this is what all we understand from this. Now I say, if I want to describe all the other columns, well, it doesn't make sense to describe name column, so let us describe overall grade, obedient, and recommend column. So I say df of, let me select the column. So I say the first column is overall grade, obedient, and recommend. First of all, let us confirm, are these columns out? Yes. And if I say, hey, I want to describe this, I can write a describe over it. If I say describe this, now let's see what you get as output. Now See, you have to understand over here. Let me tell you. Point number one. Look over here. This column is numerical in nature. That is, it consists of only numbers. This column is also numerical in nature. Whereas this, they are non-numerical columns. Precisely, I say that they are consisting of strings. And because they are consisting of strings, we see over here that that's how the things are. Describe function by default describes only the numerical columns. If I want to describe other columns as well, I need to specifically say that. So when I say over here this, now what does it mean? Well, the parameters are different. Point number one. Number two, it says that there are 8 values in overall grade, obedient, and recommend column. Then out of those 8 values, it says that there are uniquely 5 values which I identify. Uniquely 5 values. And okay, uniquely 5 values. Really? Just let us confirm that. So I see what are the unique values: A, C, F, B, E. Then this is repeat. This is repeat. This is repeat. Okay, ABC already covered up. So unique 5 values. Yes. Similarly, in this, what are the unique values? Yes, no. Then the same thing is repeated again and again. So ignore that. Similarly, here also, yes, repeat, no, repeat, 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 all cancel. Okay, this is what we understand. Then next it says that among that the highest frequency is of 5, that is 2. So C has come twice. Rest all are comparatively lesser. In yes and no column also, yes has come total 5 number of times and no has come in recommend column total 5 number of times. This is what we understand over here. Okay, now after understanding all of the simple things, next thing which we can do over here is once again, if I want to see the combined results, as I told you, if you want to see all the summary, then you need to write df dot describe include equal to all. When you actually do that, you see that let's consider all the columns: research score column and project score column. They are numerical columns, so you have the count feature and you have mean. This all of these values are valid. However, unique, top, and frequency, they don't make sense. Therefore, you get NA, and that means not a number. Similarly, over here in the overall grade and obedient column which we saw, we had this legitimate values, and all of this doesn't make sense for categorical features. The same with the recommend column, they don't make sense over here, but you have these values. Similarly, over here they don't make sense over here, but you have these values. So I mean, if you are comfortable viewing it like that, feel free to write include equal to all. And if you think that, hey, no, ideally it should be viewed separately, then use the upper technique, as simple as that. Okay, moving ahead. Now, next is that's my DF, right? This is my DF. If I want to find what is the sum of this particular column, let's say research score. What is the sum of this column? So I say, first of all, let me find the research score column. That is my research score column. That's perfect. Okay, and I say dot sum. The moment you say that, perfect. The moment you say that, I get the sum of this. If you are not convinced, you can try adding all the values in this column. This is the sum that we get. You know what? Sum function has something inside this, and that is called as an attribute of this, which is called as axis parameter. You can specify axis equal to 1. Let us see what happens. Okay, axis equal to 1. Uh, why is it saying df of research score dot sum. That's fine. Then we say over here, yes, access is fine. Access equal to 0. Access equal to 0 is fine, but access equal to 1 is where it is getting confused. Okay, so what I will do is, that is because there are multiple columns over here. Let me fetch out research score and project score separately, which we did just above. So I am going to say, where did we did that? Where has it gone? Research score and project score separated out. We did do that. Oh, here, not here. Anyways, let me do it. Ignore this. So what I will do is df of research score bracket close comma project score. Let me store it into NC, which stands for numerical columns. And it's my NC. Okay. Now if I say I want the sum of this, if I say NC dot sum. Okay, now observe over here something very interesting. If I say NC dot sum, it is going to tell me what is the sum of this research score column and project score column. Number one. Okay. Then if I say NC dot sum, and this time I say my access is equal to 1. Let's try to observe the difference. Well, oh, it's something weird. Wait a minute. Let's try with 0 first. Okay. If I say, looking at these three things which are there, if I say nc dot sum, it is going to give me the addition of this, which is coming as 507, and addition of this, which is coming as 425. This is the output of this cell. In fact, even if you write access equal to 0 over here, the output remains the same. So what does that mean? Well, access equal to 0 means perform the addition column wise, right? Axis equal to 0 means perform the addition column wise. Now, what if I say, no, I am targeting something like this. I want the addition of 90 plus 85 to be stored over here, 85 plus 51 to be stored over here, this plus this to be stored over here, so on and so forth, this plus this to be stored over here. So how many answers am I going to get? Total of 8 answers, because there are 8 rows over here. So how do I do that? So I say over here, nc dot sum, and I say access is equal to 1. And when you do that, well, now you can confirm what is the last answer. 75 plus 33, and that is 108. That's perfect as well, right? So you get to see that. In the same way, you can perform any other operation. If I say nc dot mean, and if I say access equal to 0, that's the mean of the column, and row wise mean is going to be access equal to 1. So you get simple things from this thing. Makes sense? Okay, so far everything is clear to everyone. Let me hear it in the chat section. Any questions so far, or all clear? Are you all able to understand what is going on till this particular time? All clear to everyone? Like, yes, very good. So that's perfect. Let's go ahead. Okay, so everyone understood that. That's going nice. Now, let's say coming back to my DF. Everyone replied. That's very nice to see. Okay, now what am I planning is, no, I want to add a column over here which is called as total score, and this total score should be ideally addition of 90 plus 85 to be stored over here. 85 plus 51 to be stored over here, so on and so forth. 75 plus 33 to be stored over here. This is exactly what I am expecting over here. Okay, so how to do that? Well, things are very simple. I say my df, I want to create a column which is called as total, which is going to be equal to, from my data frame, please consider research score column to be added with, from my data frame, please consider project score column. And now show me the data frame, and you can see that yes, a column called as total has been successfully created. Okay, so that's how the things are over here. Okay, then let's say the next thing which I want to do is, if you see over here, I have obedient, right? Listen to me very carefully. I have obedient, and this obedient has which all values. If I want to find out, I can say over here f of obedient or unique. Well, unique is going to tell me which all are the unique values inside that particular column. Right now, even I understand it's yes and no. Let us confirm it once again from the function itself. It never takes so much time. I really wonder why. Cool, but we get as y and n. And if you want to, okay, just observe. I don't like unique at all. It's a very stupid function. I will always say uh, values, not values. What is that? Value counts now. Value counts. It's taking a lot of time today. But anyways, we will understand the things. Yes. Now, if you observe over here, unique has said that there are two unique values, yes and no. Obedient also, this value counts also says the same thing. There are two unique values. So there is absolute no need to go to unique. Why? Because value counts also says that, hey, yes is been coming total 5 times in this particular column, and n is been coming as 3 times. So come on, this is kind of a throwaway function. I would prefer to go with value counts only all the time, right? So that's how it is. So now, having understood this obedient column, now my aim over here is, Acha Hamid, is this new column added to the CSV file? No, it's not added to the CSV file. I'll show it to you. It was a very good question, by the way. I should have taken it without even asking, but anyways, it is not added to the CSV file. Okay, if you want to store it, okay, if you want to store it, let's say, then you can actually do over here something like this. You can say df to CSV. Okay, just write df to CSV. And what is the name of CSV file? Who asked it? Well, Abdul asked it, right? So abdul.csv. Now I'm going to store this file df.csv. That is, it will be stored in the CSV format called as abdul.csv. And just let me print a message just for my feel good factor. It's a print. I'll save. Now, if I go to the same path, my Jupyter notebook is open, I should get a file called as abdul.csv. Do I have? Yes. And how cool that is. That was a very good question. Thank you for pointing that out. And now you see it is being stored. Okay. Cool. Ashish has a very interesting question. Ashish, Dr. Darshan, are you a medical doctor interested in this field, or is it a PhD in some other field? I am a doctor by profession. I am MBBS, MD Gynac, but I love to teach data science. That is the reason I am over here, Ashish. Please go through my LinkedIn profile to see all the list of operations which I have done till date. Okay, I'll give you a walkthrough of that as well. So you can see wow, this type of questions. I mean, बस यही सुनना बाकी था ज्योत्सना. Okay, so please go through my LinkedIn profile. Okay, that could be helpful for you to understand what are the different operations which I have done till date. Okay, chalo, let's go ahead. Now, I don't want that file unnecessary on my computer. Otherwise, it's of no use to me. Josna, you want to make any announcement?
Yes, sir.
Please take over.
Yeah. Guys, there is an important announcement. Like, it's a pretty good opportunity for you all, guys. We are conducted a project session for the data science. From there, you will know about the like how to work on the projects like that. We have a total of two projects, and it's of from starting from the 6th March and 7th March from 8 to 9:30 p.m. And for that you have to enroll for the project section. I will just put down the link of the enrolling in the coming session. From there you can uh, enroll for the session and can do the projects in the. And also there is a giveaway from our side, like you have you can are able to participate in the contest, and from there you can earn exciting prizes. uh, Let me show how you can enroll for the. Wait a minute, guys. I will show you how you can enroll for the project section. And let me put over the link in the coming session. The link that I put, you just click on that, and from there you can enroll for the free. And from there you will get a certificate demo, like how certificate is going to be given, and many more project details. From there you can read it out. Okay, so and the selected students, the eligible students for the eligible students for the exam will receive a mail by today. And the exam is on Sunday from 2 p.m. to 11 p.m. Is it clear to all, guys? Please. At the rate Sahil Kambil, no, there is no assignment given before. If you guys have any doubt related to the project section or any doubt about the exam or anything, you can ask it now.
Josna, assignments were given before, no? Yesterday only we gave three assignments.
Yesterday we have given the assignments that I announced in the starting of
No,
the
I think
session.
Sahil is asking with respect to this batch only. Am I correct?
Yeah, yeah. Only yesterday we had an assignment. The assignment consists of 14 questions. You can practice it out. And one more thing, guys, assignment is not mandatory for giving the exam. If you guys have any doubt related to the project session or enrollment, you can ask it now. Yeah, Pooja Semi, you will be given all the details via mail. Uh, Pradeep Kumar, duration of exam is from 11 p.m. to 2 p.m. to 11 p.m. It's MCQ based. Geeta, exam is MCQ based. It's on the Sunday from 2 p.m. to 11 p.m.
All of this
I
should
put,
be mentioned on the website, Jyotsna, and I'm sure it should be. It is already displayed. Am I correct?
Yes, sir. All the things are already
Then
displayed
I
there.
think students, you should actually take the thing seriously. Don't trouble Jyotsna again and again for these all simple questions. You should have a habit of visiting the website wherever you are enrolled. Don't just come for the sake of coming and attending the sessions. Everything is there listed on the website wherever you registered. So have a habit of going through that as well. Okay, turn more professional. I would say like that. Okay, that will help you a lot wherever you are. I mean, in life, wherever you are, make sure you're focused. Don't rely on anyone that hey, someone will come and help me. I will ask Jyotsna, I will ask someone else, I will ask my friends. Come on, everything is there on the website. People in the entire world are very professional, and you also start behaving because it's high time now. Okay, so I don't mean to demotivate you, but I mean to actually inform you how the things work in real day-to-day life.
Okay, so Aditya Singhal, exam list will come by tonight. You can check it over mail, or it's also available in the community group.
Cool. So we can proceed.
Yes, sir, sure.
Thank you very much. Ashish, I was just kidding. I'm not a doctor. Again, that was said very sarcastically. I hope you got that. Okay. I'm a PhD. Therefore, a doctorate, not a doctor. Cool. So now, going ahead. Yes, over here, uh, I was talking of the obedient column, right? So this obedient column, I see only two values, either yes or no. You know what is my aim over here? My aim over here is to convert everywhere. Uh, just a second, just a second, guys. Just a second, just a second. Yes. So there's a lot of discussion. Darshan sir, doctor कब बन गए? Not a PhD one, MBBS one. Okay. So now, yes or no. So in this obedient column, we have yes and no over here. Now, the aim over here is if I want to convert this column, which is categorical in nature. By category, I mean it's either yes or no. Down the line, you will realize that when you actually start or get enrolled for the machine learning program, the machine learning program will always prefer the things in the form of numbers. And as far as this column is considered, it's this is not in form of numbers. If I want to convert it in form of numbers, maybe if I say everywhere you see yes, please convert it to 1, and everywhere you see n, please convert it to 0. That is what is my agenda, and store it back in the data frame. So how do I do it? Well, I can have a simple function over here. Let's say def convert. It is going to take some value x, and what it is going to say, if the x value is equal to capital Y, then it has to return 1, else has to return 0. Okay, so simple. And thereafter, I simply say my df of obedient column is equal to df of obedient column dot I want to apply some function over it. Okay, I say that hey, wherever I see this obedient column in my data frame, I want you to apply a function. Which function do I want to apply? Convert. So I simply write over here convert. Now you may say, sir, why are you not writing convert in bracket x? You need not, because this is a very smart function and it clearly understands that when I say apply, it is going to apply some function. Okay, so it only accepts as input a function. Therefore, no round brackets are required over here. So now when I do this and I say show me df now, what will happen is will convert every y and n to 1 and 0. And this is what you see. Okay, a very important thing which is often at times required when you do your EDA or pre-processing of machine learning. Okay, so that is where it happens. Now, going ahead, the next one, okay, that we have to start is our Cbon. Okay, so what is there in Cbon? First of all, let us import Cbon as SNS, and as usual, I will like to see the version of Cbon. So I say SNS dot underscore underscore version. So what kind of version am I having over here? Today is taking a lot of time to process. Ideally, it never takes so much. 0.11.0. Okay, that's fine. So now, you know what? Cbon also has some preloaded data sets inside that. Okay, so what are once the preloaded data sets? What is the function to load Cbon preloaded data sets? I don't remember. I always forget it. Cbon data sets. Hmm, I usually find it over here only in the very first link. Yes, get dataset name. I always forget these names. So yes, I can say SNS dot get dataset names. So you can see over here, so many datasets are already available in Cbon. How many are there? I think around 11 to 15. Let us confirm. 18 datasets are already there in Cbon. What am I going to do is let me import one of the dataset which is called as tips. So I say how to get that thing. So I say if the name of the data frame be tips and SNS dot load dataset, and I just need to write tips over here. Then I say tips dot head. Why did I write tips? Because you see the name of the dataset already available over here. So I'm going to read it from the Cbon, store it in a data frame called as tips. Then I say, hey, show me the head of that. Okay, this is how the data set is. First of all, before I tell you what is the data set, let me look at the shape of the data. It is again a very small data set consisting of only 8 rows and 7 columns. That's still fine, but what I want is just to explain you what is the data set all about, because we are going to do visualization over this data. So now the question is how. So the first and the foremost thing that one has to understand over here is this total bill, right? This is the total bill of the people visiting the restaurants. So this is the total bill, and if this was the total bill, this is the tip that the person has given. The pair was a female. There were total two people who visited. Obviously, one is female, and who is the second one? That's not disclosed. They were not smokers. They visited on Sunday at the dinner time. Similarly, if you look over here, this was the bill. This was the tip given. He was a male, non-smoker, visiting on Sunday dinner time, and total three people were there. So possibly a family, right? Male, female, and a child, something like that. So this is how the data set is. Now I say over here that I'm going to say really want to see what are the various days that we have. So I said tips of day dot value counts. And similarly, I also want to see it with respect to time as well. So by the time that comes, let me type the code for this. Never takes so much time. Very surprised. Okay, so as you can see that it has only data for 4 days: Saturday, Sunday, Thursday, Friday. And you can see 87 people visited on Saturday, 76 on Sunday, 62 over here, and on Friday it is the list. Quite surprising that very less number of people are visiting on Friday and largest number of people are visiting on Saturday, Sunday, and Thursday is decent. Okay, similarly, time wise I only have data for dinner and lunch, and I see that most of the people visit during dinner time, and comparatively almost half of the people visit at the lunch time. Okay, now in the same way, if I say scripts.describe, it's going to describe the data frame. Now, what do you understand? Total 244 values are there. If 244 values are there, then why did we get 8 over here? Oh, we got 8 because we are checking the shape of DF. That's what I was also surprised. Strips of 244 cross 7. Yes, 7 columns are there and 244 rows are there. It's not a data set which consists of just 8 rows. It consists of 244 rows. I hope you get that. Ideally, one of you should have pointed out that sir, you have taken the wrong data set over here while considering the shape. Focus more. Then mean is given, standard deviation is given, and these are the 3 numerical columns. Therefore, you have minimum, maximum, and all the quantile values. Then after this, yes, I was talking of the sex value counts, right? So where was that? Sex? No, we didn't did that. So let's look at the sex value counts as well. So because I want to do visualization on each of this. So what is the sex value counts? Oh, I see larger number of males visit restaurants compared to females. Okay, and in the same way, now the next thing which I want to show it to you is called as a disk plot. So what is exactly a disk plot? Well, if I say the full form of disk plot is called as a distribution plot. What is exactly that? Well, I say it shows the distribution of a univariate set of observations. Just a second.
Guys, just mark your attendance for the day so you can continue. Sir, you are on mute.
I know. I was talking to my wife.
Okay.
Okay. So yes, I was talking of distribution plot. So distribution plot, it shows the distribution of the univariate set of observations. Okay. What is univariate set of observation? Uni means one. Okay, so it is going to take as input only one variable. Oh, you didn't get that? Wait a minute. You remember, let's say if I want to create a bar plot, then I need to give something on x-axis and something on y-axis, right? Such type of plots are called as bivariate plots. Okay, if I take only one of this thing, then such type of plots are called as univariate plots. So I'll show you. Let's say I say I'm going to use the SNS distribution plot. I say tips of total bill. Get a plot over here, and there's something interesting has come as a part of warning. We will read that as well, but first of all, let's see over here. And what do you understand from this? Well, this is nothing but the frequency of occurrence, and this is the total bill. What I see over here is there is a long peak over here. What do we understand is most of the people visiting the restaurant have their bills between $10 to $20. This is exactly what we see over here. Most of the people have their bills between $10 to $20. Very few people have their bills between $0 to this, right? And next is very few people have their bills in the range this to this as well. Okay, so this is what you understand. So please understand that's how you read this. So we mainly understand over here that most of the bills are between $10 to $20. So that's a insight that we have got. So let's jot it down. So I say over here that most of the bills are in the range, we can say $10 to $20. Okay, so this actually helps me to understand, are there any more things which I'm missing? For example, now let us think of, oh, there are any questions over here. My actually live chat did stop. Okay. How can we saw example SNS? How can we saw an option SNS dot? Oh, you're too early to get that. No, don't get into that bad habit. I am very proficient in coding, therefore I want all those things so that I don't waste time in type. I don't waste time in writing the entire things. For you, not at all. Don't expect the auto completion. Okay, have a habit of driving the manual car. When you are very well with driving manual car, then shift on to automatic. So I will not tell you how did I do that. Sometime later, when I think it's the right time, I will disclose that. Not today. Um, which functions will exactly show what are you trying to show verbally? That is, most of the bills are between 10 and 20. So okay, if you want to see that which is the function which is going to show you that, well, you can look at the quantile distributions of the data. That is where can be useful. Okay, similarly, if I say instead of total bill, let's say if I want to view at tips, let me hear it as an insight from you only. If I say, so looking at this, do we understand most of the tips are between this to this? What is this range? Somewhere 2 to 2.5 and somewhere between 3 to 3.5. This is what I understand. Most of the tips are between this. Okay, so it's kind of looking as a bimodal distribution, but kind of still acceptable. Okay, we are happy with that. Okay, then I was just kidding, Ashish. I mean, I was not expecting this question. Therefore, I said that. I mean, how can you ask what type of doctor you are? Obviously, come on. How can a doctor get so technical? That's but obvious, right? I mean, not even out of passion one would do that. I mean, why will he learn data science? I mean, even if he learns programming, that is more than sufficient. Or he would go for some other diploma courses which can benefit him in long run. Why will he come and teach as a data science trainer? Obviously not, right, Ashish? So yes, another thing we understand over here is, hey, they are saying that read this. It's a warning. It's not an error. It says future warning. Okay, the dist plot is a deprecated function and will be removed in the future version. Please adapt your code to use dist plot, a figure level function with similar, or hist plot. Okay, so they are giving suggestions. So maybe If you come down the line after a month or two for data science programs, you will see me using this plot or hist plot. Let us confirm that. So I say instead of this, if I don't want the warning, I say uh, this plot, right? This is what they said. This plot. Use this, and wow, I get it perfectly. Or as they say, I can use hist plot and I get this. So it looks the same. Okay, it looks exactly the same thing. Then Ashish is saying, how come a great businessman can become a great philanthropist? We have seen them all. Yeah, but still. But anyways, let's get back to the topic. The next plot which I want to talk of is a pair plot. What is pair plot? Well, I would say over here that basically plots pairwise relationships across the entire data frame. But there is something important over here, that this is done only for numerical columns. Okay, most important thing. So for example, if I say I want to create a pair plot, then I will say sns dot pair plot, and what to pass? Well, simply pass the name of the data frame and it's sorted. You want to see that? Look over here, what a huge plot is going to come. First of all, it has identified what all are the numerical columns. How to identify the numerical columns? One thing is I can say over here which dot describe. So that's what gives me all the numerical columns, which is only three: total bill, tips, and size. So I say ideally this was a better way because I was only interested in displaying the numerical column. So I kind of used this, but only printed the header of the columns, that is the column names. Okay, this is exactly what we did. Now I see there are three columns: total bill, tip, and size. So let me write that for you. The first one is total bill, tip, and size. If you observe over here, I see that as the total bill increases, the size of the passengers also increases. I mean, if you observe this particular record, the total bill is very high, but the size of the passengers is just two. If you observe this person also, I see over here there are two people coming, but the total bill is less. If you observe this, the total bill is very high and only three people did eat. If you observe over here, the total bill is very high, but only six people ate. So I don't see any relation over here as such. Okay. Similarly, over here in tips as well. However, if I actually look into this particular thing, look over here. This is total bill versus tips. I see that as the total bill increases, the tip also increases. Yes, something very interesting to see. As total bill increases, tip also increases, right? So this is an interesting observation, and that's usually the trend that we see everywhere. Then you know what is this? This is tip versus tip. Useless, right? Tip versus tip. Obviously, it is going to have the highest correlation. So don't look at it. All the diagonal values are that versus that. So only the values of interest are this, this, and this, and we only get one insight from this. Another important thing which I want to tell you over here is if you look at this, what is this? This is versus total bill. But we already did total bill versus tip, so it doesn't make sense to look at this. Similarly, this is size versus total bill. We already did total bill versus size, so again, this is useless. So precisely what I want to say over here is if you get over here a 3x3 pair plot, the only thing which is of interest to us is this and this. The rest all are useless. Only three plots are useful to us. This is something which is always going to have the highest correlation. Therefore, we don't require this, we don't require this, we don't require this. Because if this is column A, B, C, okay, then this is column A, B, and C. So it's going to be one and the same. Just a second. I think my mouse pointer did got hang. Yes, now it's fine. So this is B versus B, useless. This is C versus C, useless. This is A versus A, useless. And this is always A versus C, right? A versus C is already there. So why to look at C versus A? Useless. Similarly, B versus A is already there, or A versus B is already there. Why to look at this again? Useless. Similarly with this, useless. So only these three things are useful. Okay, so that's how my pair plot is. Okay, now next important thing which I want to talk of over here is my bar plot. So I say mm, bar plot. So what is exactly a bar plot? Bar plot is nothing but a bar plot. We all know it, right? So how to do that? SNS dot bar plot. Bar plot is not a univariate plot. It's a bivariate plot. That is, it will require x and y both. So I say over here, I want to do a bar plot. My x over here, let's say, will be the sex column, and let's say my y over here is going to be my total bill column, and my data frame over here is going to be my text. That's the syntax for it. And you can see we understand over here that it is the sex wise distribution of the total bill. So we clearly understand that males have comparatively higher total bills as compared to females. Look over here. Proportionately, if you compare male with female, you see males have a higher bill as compared to females. Number one. Yes, pair plot is really an excellent tool. What is this line? I don't know. I want you to find it out as a part of the homework. What is this line in the bar plot? Just go to Google and search what is the line in between the bar plot. You will immediately get the answer. But let me keep it as a homework. So I say homework. What is this vertical lines in the bar plot? What are these vertical lines in the bar plot? Okay, this is what is going to be your homework. As simple as that. And trust me, it's a very simple thing. Okay, now one more thing which I want to talk of is, sometimes right now we see that there are only two columns, right? Just imagine there are, instead of column 1 and column 2, there are around 25 such columns. Just imagine that you have a bar plot 1, 2, 3. In the same way, you have 25 bar plots. So if there are 25 bar plots, first and foremost thing displaying on the screen is going to be a bit cumbersome compared to what we see right now. Point number one. Then after that, the next important thing is the first one, right? First is, what is the name of the column? Well, possibly the name of the column may go somewhere over here. Second name will be overlapped over here, third over here, fourth over here. So what is going to happen is these names will be overlapped and printed over each other when you have a lot of columns over here. And if you don't want that to happen, what I'm going to suggest you is, why don't you change the orientation? Maybe why don't you print this male and female at an angle of 45 degree? Okay, I'm just giving you an explanation or hint over here how to do that. Well, you can see over here once again, I'm talking of bar plot only. I'm going to import my matplotlib because I require that. Matplotlib dot plot plt. It can also be done using cbon, but I don't remember it. I say sns dot bar plot. Let that be the same data set for the same thing. and then I just need to say PLT. What did I do here? I need to say over here PLT dot sticks, and inside this there is a parameter which is called as rotation, which says I need to supply some angle. So if I say supply the angle as 45 degree, please observe what happens. When you look at this, you see this angle male has actually got at angles. Okay, so they are at 45 degrees. Similarly, if I want to say over here, hey, no, I want it at 90 degree, you can have it male. Okay, Kashyap has answered that. The lines are error bars. Okay, but what are error bars then, Kashyap? What are error bars? Did you find out that? I mean, it is not only about answering, it should be total answer. What are exactly error bars in this graph? So, by having these two lines, what do you understand? Explain that. That would be great. Okay. Uh, how do you select library A or B for a particular charting or plotting? How do you select library A or B for a particular charting or plotting? Library A or library B? I didn't get that thing. What is library A or library B, Ashish? I didn't get that. Okay. I can also write it something like this. Instead of rotation is equal to this, I can also say rotation is equal to vertical. I think that is also allowed. And yes, it is also allowed over here. What rotation is equal to vertical. It is perfectly allowed. Then the next thing which I want to talk of is a box plot. So I say box plot. Now something very interesting over here. What is exactly box plot? I say that it is used to show the distribution of a categorical data. Understand categorical and numerical. So box plot is used for categorical data. Point number one. Okay. Second, it is also called as box and scatter plot. The third one, it helps us in identifying the outliers. For example, I'm looking at the tips data set. Over here, let's say looking at the day column, and I say plot value counts over here. We get this thing, and this is not something new for us, but I want to find out the outliers on the day. That is, what could be the maximum amount of the bills that can happen. For example, I say over here SNS dot box plot, and I say my X is going to be day, my Y is going to be total bill, and my data is going to be X. One thing very important for us to understand, that X has to be a categorical point. Don't mess it up. And Y has to be a numeric point. When you actually execute this thing, well, we see over here that there are lot of outliers on Thursday. So wherever you see these dots, these are nothing but called as the outliers. Okay. Now they are actually called as outliers. So lot of outliers on Thursday. What do you mean by that? Is on Thursday there are many people, not many, but at least I see comparatively many compared to all other. They are having their bills between $30 to $45. Friday outlier is comparatively lesser. Saturday also we have some outliers who overspend, and on Sunday you have comparatively lesser outliers compared to Saturday. So this is what we understand. So the largest number of outliers that we can see from this plot is when it is on Thursday. Okay, that's a useful insight that we get from this data. uh, Coming over here, how do you select from the modules Seaborn or Matplotlib for particular charting? It's not like that. Whatever my Matplotlib can do, the same thing can be done by Seaborn as well. But we are done with Matplotlib yesterday. Today we are only talking of Seaborn. Okay, that is the reason I am doing all Seaborn plots today. Then coming on to Kashyap, error bars can have caps and it can be removed too. Irrelevant to the box, sir. Okay, it's irrelevant to the box. Error bars are general idea of how precise a measurement is. Okay, so now comes what is exactly precision. What do you mean by precise then? I mean, how precise the measurements are. So precise means accuracy. Do you mean to say how accurate the measurements are, or accuracy and precision are the different things? Go into the root of the concept. Okay, don't only tell me superficial answers. I want something which can cover each and everything in simple words so that everyone can understand the simplest possible explanation, so that none of us is disconnected from the session. Okay, think of such an explanation that could be helpful for us. Okay, no, precision is not accuracy. They are altogether different. Okay, they are altogether different. So let me not get into that all debates now. Let it be altogether your call. So get to this and notify me. That's your homework. You do it properly. Don't do it in a live session by just searching half-hearted information. Gather the entire information. Okay, now yes, one more thing I wanted to talk of. That's my df. So yes, that's my df for Henry. I forgot to tell you one function which is called as info. What is info function going to tell you? Well, I would say it will tell me all the data type. So it says over here that I have the following columns. I have total of 8 entries running from 0 to 7. And for name column, the data type is object. What is object? Anything which is non-numerical is considered as an object. So overall grade is object. So all of these are categorical in nature and therefore they are transferred or considered as object. uh, Research score and project score are int 64. Why did obedient also become int 64? Because we converted yes and no to zeros and ones. That is the reason we have it. Okay, then again this is object and total column is the one which we added, right? So that is also being considered as int 64. So that's what my info function actually helps me to understand. Okay, now uh, if ci equal to none, then error bars are removed. You can try that. I mean, what's the big deal over here? You just go over here and try with that ci parameter. That you can do it over here. If I say there is having a ci parameter over here, then I say okay, ci is equal to none. Error bars are removed, but they come by default. What is this? Tell me that. What is this? If you write what is the default value of ci, so go to the documentation of the bar plot and see ci can also be given some number. I see 95 over here. What is the meaning of that? Ci is what? Confidence interval. What is confidence interval? Search on that. Okay, it's a part of statistics, but let me tell you, to understand this concept in detail, it will take you at least 1 hour. At least 1 hour. Okay. Therefore, I purposely gave it as a homework. Don't try to answer it in a single line just by spending 2 minutes over it. It's a homework for 1 hour. It's 1 hour homework. Don't do your guesswork over here. It's a proper study which is required. Okay. So now, after this, a few important things. Let's say what am I going to do over here is what is the name of my data frame is df, right? Yes. I'm going to import my numpy now. Import numpy as np. I just want to change few of the values. Let's say total column. Okay, total column I want to multiply by some value. So I say, let's say multiplied by some constant. Or do you know there is a constant which is called as pi available with numpy pi? And if you see, it has a value. So what I say over here is, in my data frame, wherever I see my total, I want it be equal to multiplied by numpy's I value, and then show me the this. Okay, last thing which I'm showing you over here. Show me this. So I get this value. Now, after you get these all things, the next thing which I want to do over here is see very long numbers over here. Oh, Kashyap, you need not be sorry. I I don't mean to demean you. Okay, my voice is kind of a bit strict, but I don't mean to say that. I just mean to say that it will take a lot of effort for you to understand the things. Okay, so yes, I don't like this. You know what I want is, I want these values to be rounded off to decimals. Maybe I want this value to be 549.77. This is 427.25, so on and so forth, right up to 339.29. Okay, this is what I want. I want to round off these values to two decimals. I say I want to round off these values to two decimals. Last thing for the day. So what am I going to do? If you have any questions, we will take that. So I say that my DI total is going to be is equal to, I'm going to use the round function. I can use the round function, or I can also use the numpy's round function. Numpy's round function there. It says whatever is there and tell me to what digits do you want to round up. So this is one way of doing it. I'll just show you once by showing it. Yes, you can see the values are being rounded off. Yes, I can do it like this, or I can also think of doing it without the numpy's round function by using the normal round function of Python as well. Both of them do exactly the same thing. So I will prefer to go with the numpy's function only over here. So I say add a cell, and we say that my df of total is equal to this, and now show me df. Now I see over here that my entire data frame is actually being rounded off to two decimals. Okay, so it works like that. Does that make sense to all of you? So I totally understand that there are lot of other things as well in pandas, as well as in Seaborn, as well as in Matplotlib, as well as in NumPy. But this is just to give you a quick understanding of this four very important, crucial pillars of exploratory data analysis. So that's exactly what we always cover when it comes to curriculum of essentials batch. In fact, even if I go to LetsUpgrade.in, I mean round this just a number of digits. Yes, that's correct. So data science kaha gaya here, and here come enroll for free. That is fine. That is fine. Batches, curriculum. Where is that? I always find it lost sometimes. View curriculum. So let's confirm. Did we do everything? Initial setup, this all things, loops, functions, input, output, deep dive into data types, NumPy. Yes, we covered all of this thing. NumPy functions, 1D, 2D arrays in NumPy, slicing, done. Pandas, yes, we did do all of this thing, descriptive functions and some additional things as well, done. Then coming on to Matplotlib, setting the plot styles, plot, different modes of visualizing inline versus this, and creating subplots, done. And Seaborn, dish plot, pair plot, bar plot, and box plot. Thank you very much. So my duty is done. If you have any questions, feel free to ask me. Any sort of questions you have, you can ask me. Else, we are done for the day. Any specific reasons of using either Matplotlib or Seaborn, which is preferable? If you ask me, Seaborn is preferable, but Matplotlib is also equally powerful. So in industry, both of them are used interchangeably. Seaborn codes are comparatively more easier than Matplotlib, and Seaborn gives you more powerful plots. So if you ask me, go with Seaborn as the first choice, but you should know Matplotlib as well. Then can we get the notebook file of this batch? Of course, I always share it. Jay Tirtha, I always share it, so you'll be getting it today only. Any more questions?
And Chekita, it's available on our community group. You can join it, and from there you can find it out. Yeah.
Cool. So we are sorted,
So,
right? Then, guys, thank you very much. We are done for the day. I'll be sharing with you, and assignment for today will also be uploaded because that's very important. So today's assignment is going to be kind of a bit brain scratching. So be prepared for that.
sir,
Cool.
I want to ask like one thing. The lines at the bar plot, I think that shows the variation of the values. I think.
Hmm. Hmm.
Yeah.
You
Am
also
I
need
right?
to research on it
Okay,
more.
sir.
But that is a good sign that you are listening to the session. That is very nice.
Sir,
Two
I
in one.
always do that.
Very good. Very good.
Okay,
Yes, thank
guys.
you very much, Jai Tirtha. Thank you, Kashyap, Anup. Thank you, Rishabh. Thank you, Pooja, Rishabh. Thank you, Dibyendu. All the best, guys. Make sure you prepare nicely and give your best. All the best
Yes.
for your exams as well.
Yes, sir. All the best. And hope we will be meeting on the project session that I shared the link with you. Just enroll for that, and you will be getting exciting prizes also. So, hope you all will join that. So, it's our last day. If you have any doubts till now, you can ask, or just can we end for the session today?
I think we can. We are done.
Yeah.
Chalo. Bye,
Okay, fine.
Jyotsna.
Thank you. And bye, sir. Thank
Bye,
you, guys.
everyone. Have a good day. All the best for your exams.
Yeah, thank you. Okay,
Krishna,
bye
can we
bye,
end?
guys. Yes, ma'am.
Can we end? Can we end the session now?
Yes, I'm sure we can end. Bye bye. Good night.